this rock I will build my church. But there's another kind of people called the gates of hell. He says they will not prevail against this church. So as far as the sons of... When you find out that darkness will make its move, and you don't see a response from Zion as moves also. Mind you, let me share this. The darkness that reigns in the world, darkness reigns through men. It is the works of men by the partnership with wicked spirits that introduce darkness to the world. Darkness in itself cannot enter the world if men does not make themselves vessels by which it can be conducted into the earth realm, because the heavens belongs to the Lord, but the earth has he given to the sons of men. So even God as well as Satan must partner with men to initiate their agenda. So darkness must have subscripted a lot of willing people. That is why the state of the world has one summary: wickedness. Darkness has reigned. So there are many people that avail themselves. In the day where the horn was blown in the camp of wickedness, there were many soldiers that presented themselves, willing army to serve the cause of Satan. And when they blew the horn in Joel, where they say sound the alarm, blow the trumpet in Zion, sound an alarm in my holy mountains, unfortunately the people who assembled, they were few. And with those very few people, there are only little or nothing we can do. I shared a case with certain people on Tuesday here. The Lord took me within the week and showed me a very, very sad scene. I saw a man dressed in military uniform, and I saw that they took him and brought him to a camp. And I saw myself there, and I saw inside the camp, looks like a large hall and many empty seats with names on it. Different people's names. I think the people who were there, they were like 3 or 4 plus myself. Then many empty seats, and they were all military men. So it was supposed to be a convergence, but many people did not show up. How do we go to war for a generation when the people who ought to maybe plant the flag, our support of the air, they didn't come? How do we go to war with only 3 people? When those who should lift up our flag, they are fighting for another uniform. How do we go to war? If you check the state of things, just come down a bit, enter secondary school. That's where the war is happening currently. That is where a generation is being won from. That is where the chain of masturbation and lust, pornography. If you check the things secondary school students are into now, you will be scared for another generation. The last JAMB, if you check the outcome of that JAMB, it was, I think, one of the worst failure that JAMB has recorded. Right? The average young man from that age does not even know how to punctuate properly again. He has been schooled by the electronic devices that he uses. So everything is abbreviations. The average man, I was telling Abel yesterday, I don't see secondary school people, you know, the way you come back from school and you do your assignments, then you dedicate some time to read. You know, just to read as your own responsibility. No. Inside that handset, there are different seasonal movies. They watch until they sleep while the movie is still playing. We're not talking about God now. Even that which is just your responsibility for a good life, the system has so, you know, twisted the need for their time. Even that which is not even God, they don't have time for it. Let alone you want to now come and say, who wants to give your life to Christ? You will not see them there. In a time, Anagkazo, where the love for God has been thrown to wind, in a time where nobody thinks highly of spirituality, in a time where the obvious challenges in our world is a report card that those who were sent never showed up for their assignments, there is only one way. It is that men will contend for ordinations that did not have their name to it. There are purposes that was not given to you. Remember, as they collected the talent from the wicked servant that buried it, they gave it to another person who did work. When they were giving it to him, this is not when they gave everybody from the beginning. They only took from somebody who was not working with it and added to another person who is effective. So there are those who receive extra responsibility inside time, extra assignment, which is not your assignment. You may just start, quietly as thinking you are called to just maybe be making snack. You want to be making snack. You want to be into catering. As you are focusing on catering, they look for somebody that they call to be a bread for nation, and they found out that her mouth never opened wisdom for an age. Immediately they begin to look for who to subscript. They begin to look for who will replace. And the people that they will choose from then are those who are already living, those who are on ground, those who are within that landscape. And so this is the season. Anagkazo, if you can hear me, it is this point that men begin to campaign in the world of spirits. The same way election is coming, it is what you are seeing, that the patriarchs, they are Bishop Oyedepo, Daddy Kumuyi, those of you whose eye is very careful, observing the movements of what is going on in this side of the kingdom, you will find that all of these men, they are rounding up and wrapping up their work. Daddy Kumuyi has not rested, I think, for the past 5 months. He has been going from city to city, organizing outreaches and crusades. City to city, mark my words. And I follow him down to the last outreach. In fact, the next outreach is already being prepared for. And the board of elders came to meet him. He said, rest, Daddy, at this age, you are old. Guess what Daddy said to them? He says, I don't have time anymore. This is a man whose bones should be wearied from missions. You think he deserves a retirement. That man is saying there's no time. The people who ought to collect the mantle and tell them rest, be watching me, so that while you are alive, if I make any mistake, correct me quickly. They refuse to come and take any mantle. So they are waiting for some people that have angelic description. Some people that said they were born like this with anointing from birth. You are waiting for some supernatural thing to happen before you know that you are the one to collect the mantle. And if you know the age you have entered, once a generation begins to exit time in their number, that is the time where we go for campaign in the world of spirits. Your posters should be on different streets in heaven. Michael need to be reading your name. They need to be thinking, listen, this is the time for the elders in the court of heaven to be talking about you. And the way you campaign in this period, you begin, to defy the odds above the strength that was given to you. So what is normal for our generation? To make excuse and say, but be firewood. You will have many excuses to give, but the immortals will be watching in the land of men. Remember, God was speaking during the times where spirits fellowshipped, and God was asking Satan, have you seen my servant Job? Let them be discussing. It is the time where they campaign in the corridors of the immortals. This is where men hang their posters, and their manifestos is not words, it is their lifestyle. They will talk about a young man in television. Have you seen a man who has not been defied by the power that swallows others in that space? One of the elders will be gisting. Another holy angel will say, yes, I know him. The way you have fans and you have followers, you have likes, you have all of these things in your social media account. This is how in your account in Zion, there are people that angels like. They gist about them regularly in the courts of heaven. You put a picture up on Facebook and you are worried how many people liked it. How many angels are celebrating every day you wake up again and they say a strong weapon of ours has entered the war again? Can't you win that campaign tonight? There are spirits that are observing us. You see, life is like a reality TV show. For those of you who have watched BP Niger, I present the reality to you now. What you are doing called life now is a reality TV show. Our audience are spirits. They are watching people. That day in the cover of your room, when nobody saw you, that thing that you did there is only men that it was hidden from. All spirits know who you are, and they are watching those who they call strong in that realm. One day spirits will be gisting and they will call a man a strong man. Because the day where they give titles to men, they found a man that many temptations that brought his age down, they presented the same temptation to you and they didn't give you extra strength. But where did you overcome from? So the spirits look at you and they say, this one is a strong one. It is the season where men campaign. That day where your flesh gave you that leading like every other flesh did in that region. Especially those who live in regions and landscape where warfare has broken out, where the powers of witchcraft are installing wicked attacks on the destinies of men in the night season, and every other person is dead sleep. They want to open their eyes, but there is a slumber that comes upon men in that landscape. The few ones who got up, even though sleep was in their eye, they rolled their body and put their knees on the ground. The immortals were watching a reality TV show. They were checking, who gave this one this extra strength? Where did he do this thing from? This is how men get names for themselves. In the day where they will cast vote for who will be given the horn of leadership, even Michael will vote for you, because he was there when they considered who you are secretly. Not all this open thing we do on stage, where anybody can wear a tall white garment. They want to know who you are in the canopy of darkness. He says, to see your glory and your power as I have seen in the sanctuary. Can God brag about you? God talking about Abraham, he says, I know Abraham will teach his children to walk in my ways. God bragging about a man, and you think they don't gist about men in the corridors of heaven. When your name is mentioned there, what do they talk about? When your name comes up, what do they speak about? The watcher angels that traffic time, those who minister among men, do they always go back to heaven and be gisting about one girl? There's one lady in television. There's this lady. I don't know if you have seen her, Gabriel, the last time you were there. And Gabriel is like, yes, I know a lady there too. Is it not that one that has defied the odds of depression? Now nothing is working in your life, and you have a temptation to fall as every other person. And somebody says, though he slay me, yet will I praise him. You have defied the odd of your time. And this is how men campaign in the corridors of heaven. In the manifesto of the politics of the world, you come and tell your intended, of course, people what you hope to do for them if you are elected. In the manifesto of spirit, you don't speak. Your lifestyle is your manifesto. They are watching you, trying your thoughts, checking your reins, considering your heart. They check the things you did and why you did what you did. So you can even carry something that looks noble and the motive is wrong. You have failed still.